Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Nishmas Mordechai. Hayoim Chamish U'Shleishim Yoim Shem Chamish Shavuos. Bo'omer or Lo'omer. Before I forget, about approximately 2 days ago, I was talking about Jerba. 3 days ago, maybe 3 days ago, and I got lost in my thought. So first of all, unfortunately, right after we spoke about it, there was a terrorist attack there, and 2 people were killed. But what I really wanted to say is that the Kohen, Amir Cohen, who wrote that sefer that I showed, is from Jerba. But I forgot to mention that Nekuda. Okay. Menachem, I have something for you I want to show you. Dear Belly, in today's Daf, Sotah, Amud Beis, just before the sponsors, you showed a video of someone taking the microphone in Miron and yelling, "Good morning, Rabbi Isai." I'm surprised that neither you nor Reb Nachman Seltzer mentioned who that person was. It was Gav Hul, who was the main actor in The Edge, which both of you, Reb Nachman, are involved in. Kol Tov, Moshe Rifkin. That wasn't me, because it looks like I'm not wearing a yarmulke, so it couldn't be me. This is interesting. I'm reading this email because of the name that has to do with today's daf. His name is Yisroel ben Avrohom. And today's daf, we talk about Yisroel. Dear Belly, thank you for encouraging words about the need for unity in Klal Yisrael, Hava for all Yidden. Awesome. I joined the daf at Sotah and read and listened to each shir. Todah Rabba for all your hard work and making it successful to those who don't have to study elsewhere. I sponsored the Gemara, and then he challenged us again a couple days later. I decided to sponsor my best for another one from 20 years ago, also converted about the same time I did. May Hashem give you a lot of chizuk and great reward for all you're doing. Yishkoyach Yisroel ben Avrohom. I've been learning the daf with MDY for about a year now, and I've seen such a difference that has made in my daily life. I haven't shown a lot of these emails, so I'm doing 2 back to back. It made a change in his life. This past Thursday, I drove up to New York from Baltimore and reviewed previous shiurim the entire trip. I didn't know that was possible. I'm the type of driver that usually can't push the gas pedal until I have the music blasting. Something about the shiur magically changes people. Thank you so much for all that you do. The entire MDY family have done and continue to do for the entire Klal Yisrael. Your Talmud since Ksubas, Avromi Palak, since Ksubas, Ishkoyach. This I thought was extremely cute, and this is special for Menachem. Reb Nachman. Your shir has changed my life. Not only has my life changed, but my wife and kids' lives have changed too. He's not joking. Whenever I'm not able to make it in the morning live share, I sit on the couch in the evening with my little kids and do the daf on YouTube together with them. My kids even know Reb Nachman's song, see video attached. Thank you for making the learning the daf so accessible and enjoyable. May Hashem give you the health and energy to continue on teaching, sharing Torah, all the best Yisroel, share. Check this out, Rabbi Isai. Amazing.
It's not about the daf, it's about the Yomi.
Don't. 1 minute. You missed the main part. Listen to this again.
It's not about the daf, it's about the Yomi.
It's not about the daf, it's about the Yomi.
Here he is drinking the coffee. Zechariah.
That's it.
Oh, that's your kids. I had no idea. So change your life? Get over it. Come and tell us how it changed your life. They think it's a joke. These emails, they think they're a bunch of baloney. I made them up myself every day. It changed my life. It changed my life. No, tell us how it changed. Show me. What's your name?
My name is Yisroel. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I think I was at your house once.
8 months or something.
No, I've been to your house.
You've been to my house. And
To your Siyum.
my Siyum.
So we met there once
We did.
before. No, I'm just kidding. No. And you sit behind me in shop. No. How has it changed your life?
It changed my life. I used to get up and go to work, and then a day, and now my day starts with learning the daf, and the whole day is different.
Oh, the whole day is different. Starting the day with the daf. Amazing. Yishkoyach. Maybe we'll talk about it during shir. Yishkoyach, the koilel. Sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood. The Masechta sponsored by Eli Stefansky, Nishmas, Menachem Toporowitz, Menachem Mendel, Shalom ben Yebelach, Yeshua Doiv. The sponsor of the Chodesh, Nishmas Chai Bas Yosef, sponsor of the Chodesh, Nishmas Zechraya ben Moshe, Parnas Chodesh, Nishmas Eliyahu ben Yosef Menachem Mendel. Parnas Hayoim. By Mordechai Sapoznick, Lzaicher Nishmas, my grandfather, Yisroel Aryeh Sapoznick, Yisroel Aryeh ben Reb Avrohom, Yeshayahu, Zechariah Avrohom, may Hashem have an Aliyah, maybe it's Yosef in the time of Shpach and all of Klal Yisrael. By Joel Mizrahi, Rabbi say, listen to this. Thank you, Hashem, for helping me start and finish my first ever cycle of Shnai Mikra Targum. He started in Bamidbar, And he said if he could do it, he wrote an email, if he could do it, anybody could do it. Donnie Fine agrees to that. He's also a big Shnai Mikra V'Chatargan guy. New. Shkoyach. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? You were here yesterday, I think. Oh, I think I recognize you. How could I not recognize you? Who else do we have here? Yosef is here? Yosef is here. Oh, Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? You were here also yesterday. Yeah.
Alan Rosenzweig from Brooklyn, New York.
Alan Rosenzweig from Brooklyn, New York. And you ran away on me, and I ran after you yesterday. So thank you for coming back. What's your name? Lenny Brown from the West Side. Oh, Tazai. Oh, no, I know you, but what's your name? Buddy Burl from? Tom's River. You're going to be there by the... Oh, talking about being there. Going to be in Lakewood. I'm going to be in Brooklyn. For Gitin Daf Beis. You know what we don't have? We don't have sponsors, Rav Eli. We need some sponsors for the brochures, for the places. Does anybody have 50 grand that wants to help us out? We need a lot of money here. Anybody? Your name will be on all 5 shiurim. Aryeh Rose is thinking about it. He's thinking about it.
The Israelis should help out the Americans to pay for this trip.
Some of us are, very generous. You never know. All right, the art of the month is for a complete refuah for Chaim Tzvi ben Leah, Rav Eli. Again, we got some Aganta going, easier sugyas, and we're going to have to pick up the pace. Thank you. We are holding 10 lines. It's always 10 lines. I don't care if it's 13, but it's 10 lines from the bottom, from Bnei Amoy and Bo, Ben Itzchoyne Shel Shoivach. It's a new sugya. The Mishnah tells us that Amoy, they came with the big Gibar, his name was Shoivach, but Klai Yisrael came with the Aryeh. Aryeh always beats out the big Gibar. Says the Gemara, what's his name? Ksiv Shoivach or Ksiv Shoifach with a pay. A spiller. Rav Shmuel Chadam Shoivach Shmoi v'lo menikra Shmoi Shoivach. Why is his name Shoivach? It's a how do you say it? Whatever place that you put the pigeons in there. It's one of these guys. Dovkat. Shasik Shoivach. He's built like a Shoivach. He's built nice and tall, as this picture you can see over here. That's the inside of it. It has like little shelves for pigeons. They have them here all around there. Yisroel in our neighborhood, like from 1,000 years ago, they have like these massive, they used to breed them like that. They're nice and tall. Okay. What? Why did they call him a shoivach? His real name was Shoivach, and just spills in front of him. He becomes he removes your cheshik to fight. You see how big and strong he is, you don't want to fight. Says the Gemara, Rav Shmuel, what's Ashpasai? His waist. Shiloh, who the machlokes between Rav and Shmuel, the famous Rav and Shmuel, the famous Rabbi Rabasi, they just pile up the dead. Maybe they're great at war, the great fighters. It's from their strength. They throw one arrow, like David HaMelech, one arrow and hundreds die. When they relieve themselves, they leave a big pile of waste. Typically, that's a sign of somebody that's very sick. No, it's from how big and strong they are. You see from here, because Gemara says, oh, maybe you're going to say that they're sick. No, they're not sick. But if they are sick, you see from here, if a person goes to the bathroom a lot, he has intestinal issues. You should go and try to get some medicine quickly to kill a person. Yashchena with a shin. You should remove it from your mind. If you have a dagi, you have a worry, stop worrying, start living. Another book I read when I was a teenager by the same guy, same Yeshua, but all I remember is one Yisod. Why worry on something that you don't know about? So, like a mother waiting by the window, is her son going to come home? Maybe Chas v'Shalom got killed in a car accident. Okay, so if the police come in the middle of the night and tell you, okay, then you have a daiga. But to sit and worry before it, make taste it to worry on something that doesn't, that was his Yisod. Okay. Oh, Rabbi Rasi Chadomar, Yasicheno Midaita, V'Chadomar, Yisicheno Lacherim. They're both Yisicheno. Yisicheno Lacherim is Lashon Sicha. No, Yasicheno with a sin or with a savach. The point is, one is remove and one is to talk. Talk it over with somebody. Maybe he can give you chizuk.
What is a shin and what is a sin?
Okay, that's your girsa. Fine. Yeah. Mesifta is both of them with a sin. The art school has one with the shin. You have both of them sin?
Shin.
Also some.
Oh, so that's what I'm saying. Samach and a sin. Okay. Okay, but we get the idea. It's a lashon of sicha, a lashon of sicha with removal, sicha to discuss with somebody. If you have a dago, you have a concern, talk it over with a psychologist. Now you, Klai Yisrael, you're not like that. You go with the Aryeh. So the Gemara asks, "V'kolkach lama." What do you mean? HaKadosh Baruch Hu's going with you? Say you have Hashem. You have Hashem. What do you mean He's going with you? Says the Gemara, He literally is going with you. You know why? Because all the names of Hashem, the Kol Kinuyav, and any way to write it, and Daf Yomi and Aleph on top, Menachem Toporowitz. When they go out to war with the Aryeh, not only do you have the Shivir Luchas, the Sefer Torah, you have Shemais, Hagdoshim. So it's Kaviyach HaKadosh Baruch Hu's walking with you. V'chein oimer v'yishlach oisam Moshe elef lamata latzava oisam ve'es Pinchas. He sent them elef lamata with Pinchas. Oisam, what's Oisam? Elu Sanhedrin. Pinchas ze Meshuach Mechama. Here's the Meshuach Mechama. We'll do it again, just so the oilam remembers. You take off that hat, obviously, you pour the oil on his head, and then you do the different Meshicha from here to the back. But you pour oil on his head also. Meshuach Mechama, a special kain called the Meshuach Mechama. Klei HaKodesh ze Aron uluchos shabai. Klei HaKodesh, the holy vessels, this is the Aron. And that helps you in the war. You blow, you make noise with the shofars. So now we're going to get a little bit into the discussion of Pinchas until the Mishnah. Who's Pinchas? Grandson of Aaron. Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aharon HaKohen. Pinchas went to war against the Midyanim. Why? Eli Para din avi imay. He went to take revenge on his grandfather's covet, Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef HaTzadik was his grandfather. And the Midyanim bought Yosef without the whole sale of Yosef. Then we wouldn't have an issue with Mitzrayim and everything. So he's going to take revenge. Ask the Gemara, remember the Pinchas me Yosef Asi? What are you telling me that his grandfather is Yosef? Elazar ben Aaron, Elazar, the son of Aaron, took a wife from Putiel. My love, Dasim Yisroel. Oh, like that ger. Yisroel. Yisroel shepitem agolim lavedazara. Putiel is a lashon of to fatten the veal, the calf for avedazara. So you see that his grandfather is Yisroel, not Yosef. No, loy mi Yosef shepitpit be Yisroel. Putiel is a lashon of pitpit. He rejected his Yetzahara. We just had the Maisa. Ashes Petifar, he rejected the Yetzirah.
Why is he fighting?
No, on the Midian part.
Why is he going against the Midian party?
Because why did Midyanim buy him?
He's not from him though.
No. When the brothers sold.
Why is Pinchas going to fight for Yosef? What's his
That's the whole point. We only say that he fought him if you hold that. We're asking the question because he went to fight. If he's not from there, then he doesn't.
He fought though. The Manashach he fought.
Let's hold on. You'll see at the end. You'll see when we finish the sugi. If you have a question, let me know. Says Gemara, when Pinchas killed Zimri, who was a nasi, why did he kill Zimri? Because Zimri had relations with the Moaviyah. So the Shvatim were mevayishim. The mevayishim. You see that his grandfather was Yisroel. He's Mefate. Agolim lavedazara. He has the right. Yahareg nosim Yisroel. So you see that he's not a descendant of Yosef. He's a descendant of Yisroel. Says Gemara, Eliyahu di ime mi Yosef, ime di ime mi Yisroel. I have a chart to make it super, super easy, and it is super easy. Here you have Pinchas on the bottom. Elazar was his father. We're not even going to go into that. But his mother on the left. Who's his mother's father and who's his mother's mother? So either you say his mother's father is from Yosef and his mother's mother is from Yisroel. In other words, his grandfathers, great-grandfathers, one was Yosef, one was Yisroel. That's it. Or we're just going to switch it. The great-grandfather is from Yisroel and the great-grandmother is from Yosef. Again, oops, sorry. What did I do? Either Pinchas's mother in the second row, her father comes from Yosef and her mother comes from Yisroel, or her father comes from Yisroel and the mother comes from Yosef. Okay, the words are confusing, but the point is they had great-grandparents that were both Yisroel and Yosef. You pick and choose how it happened. Either we don't know who Pinchas's mother comes from. Either she came from a grandfather that was from Yisroel and a grandmother from Yosef, or the opposite.
The only person who knows Sapoznick is the only person who came from Israel. That's Moshe Rabbeinu's wife. So nobody else came from Israel.
I don't know. According to this, yes.
Anybody who else came from Israel? I know, but we don't have. They didn't become Jews. This circumstance.
A lot of times the Gemara, we're going to even have it on this daf. The Gemara asks a question and it says, Shema Mino. So you see from here that this and this happened. Now you see something that Yosef, Yisroel. They kanami, and I'll prove it. Putiel with the yud instead of put el without a yud. Trei mashma. We're talking about both things. That he was mefatet b'Yitzroy, he rejected his Yetzirah, and the pitam Yitzroy, that he was mefatem agon. In other words, he came from Yosef and Yisroy. Shema Mino, the official Mishnah, the Heilige Mishnah sponsored by Moshe Cohen for Atzlacha, Parnasa, and what else? And leave it at Torah Yishkoyach. V'dibra shoitrim eloam leimor. We're going to have 3 Mishnayos discussing this. The officers spoke to the nation. Now, yesterday we were talking about that you have the Moshuach Muhammad talking to the nation. Now it's the officers. Who built a house and didn't even get to live in it. They should go home. Says the Mishnah, Beis Teven, Ha Teven, whether he built a storage facility for his wheat, Beis HaBakar, a little bit of a farm for his cattle, Beis HaEitzim, storage house for his wood, Beis HaEitzrois, a storage place for his wine and oil. It doesn't matter whether you built it or you bought it off a contractor. Whether you got it from your parents or you got it from your friend, you have a brand new property. You're going to be thinking about the property. We don't want you to go to war. Who planted a vineyard and wasn't mechalel? So this explains Rashi that when you have a vineyard or you have other fruit, we'll see the machlokes if it applies only in vineyard. Tremendous chiddush. We're going to see a tremendous chiddush that I don't think I knew. I might have given a shir on it a long time ago, but I definitely didn't remember. That it's very possible that Arla only applies to grapes. That's it. Anybody ever hear such a shita? Lozav Yaakov. Usually we pass like him. In this case, we don't. There's such a shita. First 3 years, Arla. 4th year, Rivai. How does Rivai work? You hear, Avi? Okay. Rivai. How does Rivai work? It's like Meiser Sheni. Think about Meiser Sheni. How does Meiser Sheni work? Meiser Sheni, you take 10%, and no, just zoom in on his Gemara over there on his laptop. I want to see what he's doing. Yeah. Okay, just keep the camera there for a little bit. Beseder. All of a sudden, the kids know how to do it the fastest. No, it's just watching Torah. What do you mean? Okay, anyway, so. Oh, Givaldi. But I knew you were doing something naughty. So, Rivai is like Meiser Sheni. On certain years, you take 10%, give it to yourself. If you can't eat it yourself, you can redeem it for cash, but you bring it, you either eat it in Yerushalayim or you bring the cash to Yerushalayim. Same thing with the Rivai. You either bring it up to Yerushalayim and eat it in Yerushalayim, or you redeem it for cash, you bring the cash to Yerushalayim. If you didn't have a chance to be mechalel, so then you don't go to war. Whether you planted a vineyard or 5 trees that bear fruit, even if they are 5 different types of trees, an apple tree, an orange tree, etc. So let me just show you real quickly. So Rashi says over here that this is the most incredible Rashi in all of Shas for me. Why in the world is it so big, this picture? It's 5 dots, and it takes up a half Amud. Okay, let me show you what he has here. Here are the 5 dots on the right. Okay, I didn't do the different colors. 5 dots, 2, and 1 on the bottom. Why? Because in order for it to be a vineyard, it has to have 4 and a tail. And our Rishonim did say 4 and a tail is like the 5 dots on the left. So just to memorize it, I don't know if this is the pshat. To me, when I looked at it, it hit me that Rashi's maybe Rashi's saying that it's like a bird's eye view. The 5 dots are a bird's eye view of an animal, whereas the other 5 dots is a side view of an animal. Let me show you what I mean. Like this. So it's like the body and a tail is over there. Or you're looking at it from the side, the other Rishonim say, and therefore you have the 5 dots that way. Akoponim, it's
that it's supposed to be 2 rows of 3. But the chiddush is that
right.
That third one could count for both rows.
Exactly, but where is that third one?
It has to be in the middle.
Raj says in the middle, the Rishonim say not. Okay, because it says zanov, a tail. It's not just okay. So it doesn't matter whether you planted the vineyard or you did something like this. Mavrich means you take a branch and you just bend it into the ground, and once it starts growing, you see like in the center there's like green, so once it starts growing whatever, then you just chop it off where that arrow is going down, you cut it, and now you have a new tree. It's called mavrich because if you remember, it looks like a knee. Like that, downwards. Okay. Or harkava. Harkava is you take a branch from another tree and you graft. Graft is a better word. You graft it into another tree. You have a mature tree, you take a branch and you put it in. Whether you graft it. Again, doesn't matter if you purchased it, you inherited it. Or if somebody gave you a vineyard as a gift, you don't go to war. And who is this person who did Erison? We saw Erison with the ring in those days, but he didn't get married. No Nesuin. Now, Stama, the Vilna Gaon asked a question here. Why is this guy coming back from war? Because he might die. He might die. He just got engaged. It's like not whatever the svar is. He just got engaged. But if he has to die, don't we have emunah that if a person has to die, he's going to die. So whether he goes to war, he's going to die. Whether he's coming back from war and he's on the way back and his car gets into an accident, he's going to die either way. What's the difference? So Vilna Gaon says, no. There's something called a mazel prati and a mazel klali. And sometimes when you put yourself in a situation of the klal, and bombs are going off and hundreds of people are dying, even if it's not your time to die, you could fit into that mazel of a klal. And that's what the Torah wants to remove you from. He wants to remove you from the mazel of the klal. Very interesting insight. Says the Mishnah, whether it doesn't matter who you're getting engaged to, whether she's a psula, she was never married before, she was married before. I feel even if she's married to your brother and she falls in Eliyahu, your brother died without children. So that's also like getting married. So you don't go to war. Even if it happened during the war, whereas if you decide to get engaged during the war, you're in the battlefield, you don't come back, you have to get engaged before. Over here, if the situation happened, she fell to you liyibum during the war, you go back. All these people. So imagine, a person gets engaged. Okay, I got it. We did official. I said it. So a person gets engaged, and then now he has to go to the border of Eretz Yisrael. Then the Kohen Meshuach asks, "Who got engaged?" But he doesn't he know the answer? He knows that he's engaged. Why should he go to the border? He should just stay home. No. He goes to the border, he hears the question, and then what happens? He becomes a jobnik. In I don't know what it's called in English, a jobnik in Hebrew. Basically, he goes back into Eretz Yisrael, but he has to work for the army. He does stuff. He paves the roads, he brings the ammunition, whatever he has to do. But he's still part of the army. But I don't know what a jobnik is. How do you say jobnik? There's a word. It comes from the word job, obviously. Pence? Okay. Oh, we got him to listen to the shir. And they are the ones that provide the food and the drinks. And they fix the bridges and they do everything they need to do for the war. Now, logistics. Supporting logistics. Here. So I saw this. Rav Moshe Mekutzi says a beautiful pshat here. What's the pshat in all these people? Because I'm sure a lot of you have the question. So guy, he planted a shtickle vineyard, so now he's potter. You imagine? He doesn't want to go to war. He knows it's coming up, so he plants a couple of vines, and that's it. So Rav Moshe Mekutzi says, look at this pasuk. This is in the Klalas. Isha sa'aretz v'shacher yishkovena ba'is tivnev le'seishev boi kerem titav le'tchalena. He says beautifully, look at how it lines up. The klala is that if you don't do what HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, these things are going to happen. These three things that the Mishnah brings. We're not taught. This is in a different parasha. This is the parasha of klalas. You're going to get engaged and you're not going to be able to marry her. You're going to build a house and somebody else is going to take it. So here comes a guy that just got engaged. He goes to the battlefield and he never dies in the battlefield. All of his friends say, wait a minute. It's Mekuyim the Pasuk over there in the klalas. And they get a fear, and it ruins the whole mood for everybody. They're not going to be able to go to war. Let's take these people out so that they're not part of the klalas, he says. Says the Mishnah, Ve'ilu she'enim chayzim. And these are the people that don't have an excuse. Haboina beishar. So just think to myself also, think about it. We're talking about a guy who has a tiny little storage room. You buy a storage room, a 4x4 amma storage room for your hay, and you don't have to go to war. Yishma, it's like you don't even have to go pretend by the how does it go? You go Lishkat Giyus, you don't have to go, try to grab invisible demons in the air and I'm Mamish Mefilga and pick your nose and say that you're Mashiach. All you need to do is to find out where you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That's why my father's potter from they're going to go get him, but he's in Florida. Okay, fine. Anyway, what? That's what he told me. No, he says I'm a Meshuggah with a diploma. What do you mean? No. Anyway, yeah?
No,
what?
you know someone who says it's Mashiach a lot.
The Kitzer, this guy goes ahead. He goes to the real estate agent. How much is the cheapest storage facility in the Negev? $200 geschmack. He buys it. He says, "Listen, I didn't get to use it. I had a lock on it the whole time. I'm not going to the war." Maybe people were dying to go to war then. I mean, no pun intended. They wanted to go to war. They wanted to fight for Klal Yisrael. And no, if you have this thing, you can't go. You just got engaged. You can't go. I don't know. Okay, so here's the picture. This is a Beishar. This is not a living quarters. This is a place for the guard to sit. Achsadra is one of these. Mirpeses, we know what a porch looks like. So you built one of these, you don't get out of the war. And if you only did 4, not 5, or even 5 trees, but they don't bear fruit. Somebody gets remarried to his original wife, he's not potter. He shouldn't be marrying an almana if he's a kohen gadol. And he shouldn't be marrying a grusha if he's a regular kohen. Mamzeres in the sin of Yisroel, and if Yisroel, you shouldn't be marrying a mamzeres. But as Yisroel and mamzer, and people have the question: how does a kohen gadol go to war? How does a kohen even go to war? Okay. Fine. These people don't come back. If your house, let's say, burnt, you had a fire, so you rebuild the house. That's not considered a new house. You already lived there for 25 years. You just rebuilt it. Says Rashi, it's a place where it's a temporary build. You have to twice every 7 years, you have to redo things. The ground is soft. It's not a good build. So that's not considered a house. Now, we just discussed where you go to the border and you go through the whole thing and then you become a jobnik. But there are some that don't even go to the border. They're not even jobniks. That what? He doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't have to supply food. No logistics, nothing. If he built a house and he moved into it, but he didn't live there for a year, Shana on his house, he planted a vineyard. And he was able to do the revai. Now he's finally starting to eat the fruit, and it's his first year. But he got married to the woman he was engaged to. He married a Zivam Shenemar. He has a full year. That's literally if you have a house. He has a karmoy, a vineyard. The Baal Turim says Visimach is 354 and not 355 because he says, think about it, there's one day a year that you're not makayim the mitzvah of a simach, and that's on Yom Kippur. So the lot I want to learn from here that the inyan of a simach is that inyan. V'simach is ishtoi zu ishtoi ashalokach lahavis yivimtoi. So the extra ashalokach comes to include oyavama, and they don't go to war. They don't even do any logistics. A maspikin le'amayim Muslim, they don't have to work to bring food to the battlefront. They misaknin es adrochim. And they don't have to fix the roads and the bridges. The Shoitrim speak. No, maybe they should make up stuff, their own psychological speech or whatever. They added to what the Mashiach said. They added. So added means that they say their own words. No. They should speak. Whatever the Meshuach Muhammad said, they repeat. Okay, it's that. The Kohen Meshuach speaks maybe on a softer voice, and the officer screams it out. Tani Chada, as the Gemara, in one place it says, Kohen Medaber v'shoiter mashmiya. One place the Kohen Meshuach speaks, and the officer repeats. Wait a minute, it says in another place, that it's the Kohanim. One, the Kohen Meshuach says it, another Kohen repeats, not an officer. The Tanyidach in the third place it says, Shoitim Medaber, V'shoitim Hashmiya. The officers are talking. One officer speaks, another officer repeats. It's not a Kohen, it's not a Kohen Meshuach, it's nothing. What is going on here? Here's the pasuk. From the word V'nigash, HaKohen V'dibur Lam. In other words, from pasuk Gimel. Obviously, he's not going to say, happy birthday. Look over there quickly. Yosef Erman. That's why you're here? You get off? That's how it works? 40? 40, wow. Mazel tov. Okay. I should have known that my brother's birthday is today. Fine.
His wife sent an email.
She did? I didn't get to see it. Oh! You know, that reminds me, his mother sent the email like a week and a half ago. Resend it, because I was going to read it. Bemis. Seriously. No. So, Bekitzer, this is what the Kohen Meshuach says from the word V'nigash, not V'nigash, but from the pasuk Gimel and Dalet. Great. Says Abayo Keitzad V'nigash ad V'dibru. Here's the pasuk V'dibru. In other words, pasuk Hey. Up until that point, Kohen Medaber V'Kohen Mashmiya. The Kohen Meshuach says it. Another Kohen screams it. Miv'dibru. But from pasuk Hey ad V'Yosfu, which is pasuk Hey Vav Zayin. I didn't put all the psukim. I put 3 dots. But the point is here until the beginning of pasuk Ches V'Yosfu. 3 psukim they say. Kohen Medaber V'Shoitim Mashmiya. Now you stick in the officer. The Kohen Meshuach speaks, the Shaiter, the officer repeats. And And this pasuk right over here, Shoyter Medaber v'Shoyter Mashmiach. Seirachanami. There are three different psukim that three different things happen. Either the Kohen Meshuach speaks and another Kohen repeats, and in the middle psukim, the Kohen Meshuach speaks and a Shoyter repeats, and the final pasuk Ches, the Shoyter speaks and another Shoyter repeats. Mi ha'ish asher bana bayis chadash Tana Rabban. Who's the man who built a new house? Tana Rabban asher bana. Ein li ela asher bana. It says he built. So if you want to mamish read it like pshutik mashmai, it means he built. Lokach v'yarish v'nital me'matar v'nayin. How do you know if he acquired it in other ways? It also counts. Tamaloymar umi ha'ish. It should say without the word ha'ish. Mi bana. Who built? Asher bana bayis ein li ela bayis menayin l'rabbis. Beis HaTevim, Beis HaBakar, Beis HaEitzim, Beis HaItzaros. What about all these storage facilities? Like we had before in the Mishnah. Just explain the Mishnah. Maybe we built a watcher's room, whatever it is. Maybe it should be included. It has to be a dwelling place, a place that you live in. End of the story. If you have something that's royal dira, you get out of the war. If not, not. Huh? It's not 100%, but very good question. Sometimes people give a shtickle schluff over there. And if you're a guard that gets paid by the hour, you also sleep in the Beis Hashar, I guess. So, okay, fine. I don't know if you, when did you join this year? Milan Darim. You probably heard the story 4 times. I used to have guards. I still have those guards. That we bought a property that was Narvayim, and we're not going to get into it, but I had to make my own security company. Then I realized that they all sleep. I bought them golf carts and they sleep. So we put like these magnets on trees around the thing. I said this a long time, whatever, maybe a week ago. Every time I say a mice, somebody says, Tommy comes up and says, you said it 3 days ago. I mean, okay, fine. Put magnets everywhere, and they had a machine, and they have to go to the magnet now, and it counts, and it tells you exactly when he hit the magnet. So mainly these guys are busy all night long hitting magnets, and that's what we have. Maybe they came up with a system like a robot that does it. I don't know, but kids are as I is. Huh? No, but when I go there, I look at the magnets. They're not kids. There's ways out of it. You're right, but you know what? There's no more murders and the Kol Menachem over there anymore. No, people for fun. They used to take guns and shoot out our light posts, like the lamp post in the middle of the thing. You come, there was a shooting, and you come. They wanted to see if they have good aim. They could shoot from different, pop out your thing. Okay. They have this everywhere. Baruch Hashem. Fine. We had this stupid mice, but I never said this. It's we have a pool, so the lifeguard said, tell the kid, like a teenager, get out of the pool. So the guy gets out of the pool, picks up the lifeguard, throws him into the pool. So that's the type of mishma, like that's how they listen. Look at the Gemara. So our guest over here asked, what do people sleep in a storage? A little bit. They sleep over there. But not in a Beis Shar. Okay. Rebbe Lezer ben Yaakov Omer, Bayis Kema Shemoy. Rebbe Lezer argues it has to be a house. It can't be a storage facility like you said. Now it says in the pasuk V'lei Chanachoi. He wasn't mechanachet. He didn't live there. But what's the extra vav? Leichanach. It should say leichanach. What's V'lei Chanachoi? Prat legazlan. Very interesting halacha the Gemara says here. And we're going to go into it. A person steals property. You can't use that. He wants to get out of the war. So he says, I just stole. Kohen Meshuach. Yeah, I'm eligible because I just held up a guy by gunpoint. They took away his house. Can I go back home? No, you can't go back home. Okay, what happened there? Wait a minute. If this is actually a real halacha, Rabbi Yosef says v'racha levav means should be yadai. So it can't be that we need a pasuk to say that a guy that stole something is not eligible to go back, because the guy that stole something, he's a ganav and he has averos, and the guy that has averos, he can't even be part of the army. Sponsored by great Haber for Bracha, Hatzalcha, Parnasa, Brios, for my entire family, Rav Eli, and everyone learning the Daf. It's actually very interesting that in Vilna, it's famous Maisa, they made a show, a play, and they did this Gemara in the play. They said, who just got married and just got engaged in what? The Maskilim. The Maskilim did a play. Yeah, the Maskilim. And a bunch of people left. And who did this? And at the end they said, and who did Averus? They can't go to the war. And the whole play got up and left. And there was the Chavetz Chaim and Chaim Oizer left in the play, like they had to put on the beers. And everybody was laughing and giggling. They had a great time. And then they told the Chavetz Chaim told Chaim Oizer, take the gun, shoot. And he said, no, you're the Kohen, you shoot first. So they told us over to the Briskerov, and he said, that's mamish what happened. The only thing they missed out is that the Chavetz Chaim and Chaim Oizer would have won the war. Okay, fine. Weiter says Gemara, I feel the Tamer Rabbi Yosef Glili. We're talking about a big tzaddik. He did tshuva, he paid for the property, whatever the guy wanted. So this is the big chiddush. So he purchased it. The guy's property is worth $1,000. The guy said, you know what, you stole from me, give me $100,000. I'm not moichel, I'm thinking about it. So he gave him $100,000. So now it's his. It's his. Let him get out of the war. Says Gemara, no, keep it in the mikar b'toras gzeila asa liyadei loy. Since it came to him through the wrong way, not. And that's what I was going to tell you. You see, right over here, I'm going to stick it in. You said that you just started, when you started the daf, your day is a whole different day. You used to go to work straight and then whatever. When you start off on the right foot, you see, here's the Yisroel. You got to start off on the right foot. You got to do the daf in the morning. First thing in the morning. Some people do it at night. It's also good. But it's kedai to start off the day with Torah. Then it's a whole different thing. Over here, this guy started off with Gzela. Yeah, he made it up later and he paid and he asked for mechila and he did tshuva, lahaba, the whole thing. Not good. You start off on the wrong foot, it doesn't work. The same thing again. When it comes to the vineyard, how do you know if I got to be Yehusha? It works, I could get out of the war. How do you know any kind of tree? Because Rashi explains, it doesn't say Miyosh Asher Kerem Nota, it says Miyosh Asher Nota Kerem. So you can kind of pause. Miyosh Asher Nota, period. Kerem is another thing. So in other words, any type of tree works. We're like 10 lines from the top of Amud Beis. Maybe only 4 is enough. It has to be 4 in a tail. No, it has to be a vineyard. It should have said chilel. What's the extra vav chileloi? Prat lemavrich or lemarkev that we showed the pictures already. It looks like a knee, a grafting. So now we have a problem, and we're going to discuss this problem for a little bit. We have a stira in the Brises. The Brises says that even if you took a graft, you put it into the tree, then you could get out of the war. Our Mishnah says you can't get out of the war. So which one is it? Same case. A guy takes a small branch, slices up a giant branch, puts it in. You know, they do it with the sroigim, let's say. They do it with all sorts of things. Esrog tree is naturally very weak. You take a branch of an esrog, and you put it in a strong, lemon tree. Another citrus tree. There are citrus trees that don't bear fruit, very strong. Put it in. What's the halacha? So, on the one hand, that's considered your tree. You just have trees here, so you can get out of the war. Our Mishnah says you can't get out of the war. So which one is it? Omer of Zeirus, we have a number of answers here. Omer of Zeirus, Chiz the Leikasha. Kan bar kovas isur, kan bar kovas heter. If you take 2 minim, you take an apple tree and graft into an orange tree, that's awesome. Yeah, we have a lot of fruit today. Like, I don't know, like kiwi, whatever. I didn't even look it up. I remember when I was a kid, they said it's made of banana and a sabra. I don't know if it's true. Different things. Grapefruit. I don't know what. You take a lemon and an orange, you put them together, you have a grapefruit, let's say. Whatever it is. There's a fruit, I remember reading once, 16 different trees put together. That's a kavas isur. For you to eat it, it's not a problem. You're not allowed to do it. Kam bar kavas heter. When the Mishnah says that it's your tree to get out of the war, is because you took the same species and you put it together. Why did you do it? Because you have one tree that gives beautiful large fruit, and you have a small tree that doesn't give it. So you take it and you combine, you put a branch with the large fruit into the tree that has small fruit. Says Gemara, let me ask you something. What's going on here? What exactly happened? If they're both young trees, less than 3 years old, so Nachamal, he owns a little tree, a 2-year-old tree. He owns a 2-year-old tree. You just told me he owns a 2-year-old tree. Forget that he grafted or didn't graft. He owns a 2-year-old tree. What does that make him? Potter from going to the war. So typically the boy mahadim mishum yalda rishayna. Forget the fact that he took a branch from another tree and put it in there and he did a grafting. Without that, he could get out of the war. He has a tree that's 2 years old. Ela yalda b'skeina. So you have to say that this is not a small tree. This is a nice big tree. It's already 5 years old. And he took a small branch of a young tree and grafted it into a 5-year-old tree. And now he wants to get out of the war. That doesn't work. We view the root tree, the large tree, that's the ikr. The other one doesn't count. The branch doesn't count. It's considered a mature tree, more than 4 years old, more than arla, more than revai, and you don't get out of the war. So there's beautiful answers here. Check this out. He planted a tree, and it's only 2 years old. So you're telling me, and he has 5 of them, okay? He has 5 trees, it's two and 1 tail, everything's great. The problem is, he never planted these apple trees for fruit. He planted it for, let's look at this picture over here, for a wall, for a fence. He had intent to use it as a fence. He had intent to harvest it for wood. He was going to chop those trees down and make 2x4s out of them. So that kind of tree, Rabbi is potter from Arla. It's not a fruit tree. Even though, la halacha, you could eat the fruit all you want. You could eat oranges, you could eat the apples off the tree. But it's not a fruit tree. It has fruit. That's potter from Arla. Rabbi I have a shayla. You live here in Eretz Yisrael. You live in Florida. You plant a bunch of palm trees in front of your garden. What are you planting them for? For the dates that they're going to grow on them? Or you plant them for the beauty of it? The beauty. So are those dates chayiv in Arla or not? Could you eat those dates when they're 2 years old? The answer is Zcharya, you could eat them. Why? Because Arla is only when you planted for the fruit. You planted it for the beauty, which most people plant palm trees for today, unless you live over there, you have a palm tree farm or whatever. So you're allowed to eat them. Yeah, that's something else. Arla. It's not a tale, this is a yag, like ours, but Umayshna Yalda Biskena the Batla. Umayshna Yalda Biyalda the Loy Batla. Gemara asks a beautiful question. If you have a small tree, you planted a small tree for this picture, for a fence, and then you take a branch and you put it in to that tree and you say that the branch is food. My branch is food. So we're saying that he's potter from the war. Why? Shouldn't it become bottle to the bottom one? The bottom one is a fence. Your branch that you stuck in for the graft is food. Shouldn't the food become bottle to the bottom? Just like you said that the graft is bottle to the old tree. So over here also, this is a beautiful answer. If you have a 10-year-old tree, and you look at the tree and say, tree, I want you to be Arla. Doesn't work. Arla is only when it's 3 years old. You can't say or think. However, by us, when you look at these trees that are a fence, you could in one moment switch it into food. Now I don't want it for a fence. Now I want it for a fruit tree. Now you chayav Arla. Memela, you have the bottom that's a fence. And you go and you graft a branch into it that's food. And you're saying, I want it to be food. So that branch is food because it's totally in your das. With your mind, you could change that whole fence to make it into fruit trees. So with your mind, you're going to change every branch that goes into it. The branches that are grafted, those are the fruit. The bottom is not fruit. Okay, I don't know if you guys you see from here that if a tree just grows, an orange tree grows in your backyard by mistake. You see sometimes a palm tree here in Israel, all of a sudden a little tiny palm tree on the side of the road. Something happened, it just grew. So you chayiv in Arla over there. Why? Because you don't need das. Because typically, so memela, if you don't need das, you could flip it into a fruit when you want. It's not. Ask the Gemara, I have a great idea. You're asking me why the bottom one doesn't give him relief from the army. And only because he grafted something into it and now he's relieved from the army. The answer is because the bottom one is not his. The bottom one is owned by Reuven. And I'm giving you an example of where grafting, I asked you, Rishos, could I graft my branch in your tree? Oh, but the tree should get you out of the army. No, it's not your tree. The tree is Reuven. The branch is Shimon's. Says Gemara, the high hoda adidei, the high hoda adidei. Or a papa, they say meres. Oh, this is what I was telling you, Rabbi Nachman. Oh, I don't know the answer, but from here is muchach. They say meres kerem shel shnei shutvim ein chayzim el marchem melchama. If you have a tree that is owned by two people, you don't come back. Then real quickly, but over here you have a woman who sort of has a partnership with 5 men. Why? Because her husband died, and her husband has 5 brothers, so they all come back from war. Wait a minute. They're all a little bit related to her. It's like owning 2 people, owning 1 tree. Over here you have 5 men who have something to do with this one woman. Says Gemara, no. Each one is able to be a complete husband to that wife. Over here, the tree is owned 50-50. Each leaf is 50-50. No one has 100% of anything. And Memela, it doesn't work to come back from the war. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day.